Mike McCool here. I'm in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Captain Jeff Holzbauer and Lieutenant Robbie Seal from the Warren County Sheriff's Office. And so we're going to kind of give us an update on what's happening in the last 3 or 4 weeks since the last time you were here.
Yes.
He's brought a big list. Kind of fill us in on kind of what's going on. I'm sure most of it with COVID-19.
The sad thing about it is it's sad enough you have this pandemic that's going around, but with that, much like any type of disaster or what have you, you have those out there that prey on people. And
exactly. I've seen all these scams and things.
Well, exactly. I mean, and one of the things I'm doing, as well as a lot of our deputies and staff is pretty much in our conversations with the community is letting people know about some of the things that are going on with the scams and whatnot. As a community resource deputy, we mentioned Nextdoor last time we met and everything, which is a great venue to get information out. And of course, I've sent copies of flyers from our Virginia Attorney General's office, and with respect to what they threw out there to the general public in the Commonwealth related to some of the scams going on, and as well as IRS that's thrown out from federal government, that's thrown out some of the things, even to the point of our stimulus checks that are coming.
Already people have figured out a way to scam.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and a typical scam with respect to people now, looking to get their stimulus checks and haven't gotten their stimulus checks, for those that haven't, is these scammers calling and requesting, your bank account information because they portray themselves as representatives of the IRS, and they need your bank account information in order to send your stimulus check. And people fall for that.
They do. They do it.
People fall for that. So we're ways that we're doing that. I mentioned Nextdoor.com through our Facebook, the Warren County Sheriff's Office Facebook website. We've actually, and for our seniors out there, one of the things that I've done is teamed up with or assisted with SAAA, Shenandoah Area Agency on Aging, and they do Meals on Wheels every week. Mm-hmm. And of course, in fact, we've got something coming up Wednesday, a little event we're going to do, and I'll elaborate a little bit on that. But as far as the scams aspect is, just last week, just on the Wednesday when they're delivering Meals on Wheels, I had copy of flyers that I also distributed to seniors as we gave them their meals. So, ways we're reaching out to our community to make them aware of some of the things.
Well, if you can just help one person not get scammed, because it just ruins your life.
It does.
It's one of those. It's just something that doesn't go away when you get snookered like that.
And it never will. Like I said, I mean, whenever you have these type of disasters, pandemics, that we're in now, people, those scammers take advantage of it.
I just read something the other day. Of course, the DOJ has been sending out these things for the IRS, about the scam warnings. But how many people still fall for the Nigerian prince scam?
Oh, yes.
And that's been going on for 20 years or more, and people still do it. And I get stuff all the time.
Speaking of scams, do you know what the number one senior citizens? The number one scam is against senior citizens. A lot of people don't get this. The answer to this, but sweetheart scam.
Oh yes, that's right.
The sweetheart scams. A lot of our seniors are lonely, widows, widowers, and live alone, and they're lonely for companionship. And obviously, if they start learning, become very proficient in getting on the computer and everything, they'll develop this this talking relationship with somebody, and on the other end is that scammer.
Yep.
And scammer. And I'm telling you, folks, I've dealt with a lot of seniors and actually spoke with them, and they will actually show you, one lady in particular will show me a photograph. She's like almost 80 years old, and here's a photograph of a George Clooney lookalike.
Right.
Portraying himself as the other party on the other end she's been talking to for 2-3 months. And
right.
And
they stretch this out to build this confidence to do it. And another one is, Robbie, I lost my wallet. I'm stuck down here in Virginia Beach. Can you send me some money? I get emails like that, and I called him up and said, where are you at? No, I didn't lose my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. And when I go to the Warren County Senior Center, which prior to the COVID-19 was every month, and instructing on scams, we talk everything that involves seniors' lives, whether it's safety aspects, how to go outside and work in their yard, and safely and what have you. It was a talk, it was a conversation of what our senior citizens do in their normal lives and whatnot, and I was there to help them, educate them on, the safety aspects of how to go about doing that, and very rewarding experience for me every week to go there. But the thing about it is, I can go and instruct every month, but if I miss a certain time frame, and let me back up. Even after I instruct, maybe the topic 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago was something else. There will always be a senior come up to me and let me know in secret that they were scammed, even after an instruction. So
Right.
the recidivism has to be there all the time. So that's
right.
what we try to do.
Well, and thing to remember too, doesn't happen just to seniors.
Oh, no. And I speak highly of seniors.
That's the
because-
big group.
Yes,
but
that's the big
we
group.
all get it's easy to fall for it. We
Yeah.
get relaxed. And
Doesn't matter. You're right. You're absolutely right. We're all susceptible to being scammed. Period. No matter what age you are.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really something.
Yeah.
Just amazing. You think that would have. How I guess people are. I always say it's like hackers on the computer. If they would spend as much energy on doing something good, think of the money they could make instead of spending there just ruining people's lives for grins. Yeah. Speaking of grins, I see Jeff over here. He's biting at the bit. He's got something he wants to talk about. So let's go to Jeff, and then we'll come back to you. How's that?
That's more than fine
Well,
with me.
what's going on with the patrol?
Well, we're still out there, still being about the business.
Well, there's
of
no
the
one
county.
driving on the roads. It's free and clear, so you obviously aren't doing anything, are you?
Well, I don't know if you drove around here a whole lot, but
The road was backed up to Main Street on Royal Avenue yesterday.
I don't believe we're adhering to staying home as quite as well as we might have been
Right,
2
right.
weeks ago. So
When it's 72 degrees outside, people have a tendency to, let's go for a ride, if nothing else. There's no place to go, but,
we're going. We're going. Yeah.
Yeah, their middle name is Go.
Go. No, we're being about the business of the county and making sure that business is being taken care of and handled, and calls are being taken. And like I said 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, you may call and we may call you back by phone.
Right.
But that's as much for your protection as it is for ours.
I asked Jeff if they have a quota for speeding tickets, and he said, no, they can write all they want.
Well, and if you've
That's
been,
old, isn't it?
Yeah.
if you've been out here on the road, we need to be about it. There's
Well, there's a budget cut going on, so this is how we're going to make up this budget cut? Is that?
no. That's
There's no
not-
truth to that, is there?
There's no
Just
truth.
squash
at all.
that rumor right
That no.
Sheriff Butler wouldn't want us talking about that, would he?
No.
Well, just injecting a little humor into the cause here.
You bring up budget cuts. The board of supervisors, which have been great to work with and great to be about. Glad we've been able to all see eye to eye and make things work. They did approve our budget. We had to make some cuts the first go around. I think was right around $100,000, and then when everything was brought to, and they came about and asked every department in the county to try and reserve back at
Sure.
least 1% out of your budget. And Sheriff Butler has by far saved back that 1%. He's been able to freeze a few positions. He has stopped a little of the spending on things that we can hold off.
We can
on.
wait. We can
That's
wait.
right. Yeah, we can wait.
Go around the block a few more times in that patrol car before we get another one.
That's right. That's right. So there's been a lot done. I'm going on probably on a low number here, but from what I'm looking at, he's probably reserved back a good $200,000 of available money to the county in positions and money that's paid out monthly. So it's felt right now. It's not like we have to wait for taxes to be paid
Right.
in for that to be felt. So he's doing a wonderful job at making sure that things are held down and in good shape. So
What about, I heard talking last time about some grants you were applying for. Has any of that come through?
actually,
I made a comment about Robbie's new vest he was wearing. He
Brand
said,
new.
and that's part
It's
of
bigger.
a grant.
Yeah, it is bigger.
That is part of a grant system. The county pays a percentage of it, and then we, as the taxpayers, end up paying part of it. And then, of course, we have some grants there, so that's a big part of it. We we have, and I'm saying we, the sheriff's office has applied for several $1 million worth of grants, and hopefully we get some of those grants. You can apply for anything, and what you end up
Sure,
getting is a
sure, they can
different
divvy it
story.
out, yeah.
But we have already received monies for several other grants that haven't been applied for in years and years. So that is a big breath of fresh air to see extra monies come in that is not burdened on the taxpayer. So,
And much needed, because unbeknownst probably to a lot of people, our citizens out there, especially with the specifically with the vests. I mean, this is an ongoing process because the life expectancy of a bulletproof vest is just 5 years.
yeah.
Well, if it's used, can you use it again, or is
No,
it,
no.
it's like an airbag?
We hope it literally never gets used in that respect.
Well, I mean, no, really. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's used, I mean, if it's attacked,
Yes,
is it
that's
like
why
an airbag? Is it an airbag? Like it's
No,
gone?
once it's used, it's probably going to be stuck into evidence. If you're shooting at a
Well,
police
that's true.
officer,
That's true.
Yeah.
it's going to probably be in evidence. I'm going to
Yeah,
guess for
it is.
several years. And
Yeah.
once it's used, it's used.
Yeah, we don't. You don't want to take a chance, do you?
That's right. Once
Yeah.
it's like a balloon. Once you blow it up, that's it. It's
Yep,
done.
that's it.
Yeah.
So
Well, you watch these people. I watched that picture, seeing the guy, that's supposedly the inventor of the vest. No one wanted to be shot with one, so
I think then they figured out you just lay it down and shoot it. So,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
it does. Yeah. So
it's like the taser. They make you do that taser thing, don't they, in the police academy?
I have been through that program
Yes.
several times.
Yes.
It's not fun, is it?
Well, I tell you, the first time I did it, I thought, this isn't too good. I don't really care for it. But after you do it a few times, you realize that it's a powerful tool
It'll
to
knock 'em.
have on the tool belt,
Yeah.
and it gives you some kind of idea of what you're inflicting on somebody else. So it does open your eyes up to what you're doing. It
Yeah.
is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know I was a big baby when I preferred the alternative, the alligator clips. I didn't want to get the actual. I'm needle phobic.
It's like getting the mace or the pepper spray.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's not as fun, is it? No. What else is going on? I noticed we talked briefly about some counterfeiting. What's all that about?
we need the community's help with this. We're looking for two different people, and they are involved with the counterfeit case here in the county and in several jurisdictions around the county, in several states. We're looking for a young man by the name of Cyrus Fells. He's a 31-year-old white male from the area here, Page County, Warren County. He does have several felony warrants on file. We are trying to locate him in an ongoing case that we have going on. And then we also were looking for a Lakeisha Jones, 31. She is a black female, and we think she's originally from Trenton, New Jersey, but she travels about up and down the East Coast. We know a pretty good bit. We have several felony warrants for her also. And so when you're standing in line there at Walmart or Food Line and they're marking your money and you're thinking, well, I haven't done anything wrong. Well, here's two of the people that have, and we're looking for them. So
What kind of money are they passing? Hundreds?
there are some hundreds out there, several of them, a lot of 20s and a lot of 10s. And I've looked at a lot of them. If you're in a hurry and you're not paying attention, it's easy enough to take them. So
Yeah. Most people don't bother to mark a 10 or a 20, but
when you're standing there with them in your hand and you're holding one beside of a real one, they're pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
So if you're in a hurry, pay attention. So
Yeah.
anyway, and we will put these two people's information up, and you can
yeah,
put it out.
I'll publish their pictures and the information and who to contact if you see this.
all that contact
I'll
information.
put all that in
will
the
be-
story. That'll be great.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
And we appreciate the public's help. We need
Absolutely.
your help locating these people. So if you can, if you see them or you think that you know where they are or you know them by name, contact us at the sheriff's office.
That last picture we published, it just looked like a black glob. But you know what? Somebody identified that person, I think,
That's
based
right.
upon one little thing they seen on their garment. And even though you couldn't see their face,
Right.
somebody, I think, did call in and identified that person.
That's
so
right.
it's amazing that, you can kind of, if you know somebody, you don't even have to see their face, well, that's what they wear all the time. Or you can.
Seen that jacket.
Yeah,
I
I've
know
seen that.
hat.
I know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that. That's strut out the door.
Well, and we were very fortunate. I mean, to utilize obviously Royal Examiner as a means to get the public's help, because we do have a tremendous amount of support from our community that love to assist our law enforcement with our endeavors. So, absolutely.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys.
And the good side about it is you're making your community better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I put my blue shirt on today because the blue line I was thinking about, but you guys wear brown, so I could have worn my UPS hat.
Still the same.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Blue,
all
brown,
the
we're
same.
all in the same.
It's
They're
all,
brothers.
that's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So, Robbie, back to you. Let's go ahead. I know you got a couple more COVID things.
Well,
you
we
wanna talk
mentioned,
about.
you know, with everything that's going on, one thing that has stepped up, or that we've seen something new, is the request of a lot of procession aspect of what people want to do to think about their community, and I mention seniors all the time, but one thing that's been done is groups have gotten together to form much like a vehicle procession to.
Right.
In fact, as we're doing this, it's ongoing right now. Is a procession that's taking place. They pretty much gathered up the Skyline High School and outfitted their vehicles with balloons and signs and everything. And of course, we have a deputy as well as assistance of a police officer from the Front Row Police Department in escorting them by several of our nursing homes here in the town, and the actual assisted living facilities have gathered all their residents outside of the buildings, because we're not going to interact with them, of course.
Right.
But just to see the procession, so we can
Kind of like a parade.
Oh
you know?
yeah, just like a miniature little parade and everything.
Well, that people get.
Just to there's a lot of people going through some really depressed times right now, not being able to see family, friends, and with that is the means of how we can think about them and let them know we're thinking about them by doing something like this. So we've actually we see a lot of that going on. You know, a lot of requests we cannot do, but you know, for something like this, you know, that just takes a few minutes and everything, we're more than delighted and happy to provide a deputy, and I'm sure the Front Row Police Department as well, and a police officer for just to escort the procession through.
Well, you mentioned depression. That's a side effect of this stay
yes.
at home. Suicides, drug overdose, both legal and illegal drugs, just because of people are cooped up and there's just too much time on their hand.
Right, exactly.
So we got to watch for that too. So it goes back to the old see something, say something, check on your neighbor, give them a call, send them a card, do something to start interacting with. If you can't do it physically, let's do it. Reach out and call them on the phone.
Oh yeah.
It's beyond just doing something on Facebook or sending an email. I think you need to get your voice out there, or have something tangible.
Oh, I agree.
People that are used to doing that. I think that'll really help.
It does. It means a lot. It means a lot to people right now with everything that's going on. But other than that, as far as the initiative that we've been pursuing, as I mentioned the last time we were together, is assisting our county solid waste department with the dumping issues here in the county. Primarily 522 site, which is very busy. So I'm there every day of the week. Just monitoring compliance, make sure people are coming with covered pickup trucks, trailers, and whatnot, and how they haul their trash to the compact sites, and make sure they have their decals, or at least means of showing that they're a resident and that sort of thing.
Well, let's just touch quick base on something about the governor's executive orders on staying home and groups of 10 or more. You heard about the stories of people snitching on their neighbors up in New York and New Jersey, and haven't really heard too much of that here in Warren County. But have you had people call you snitching?
Well, I haven't really had anybody call me snitching about that. We actually had a staff meeting. We have a staff meeting every Monday morning and address that very topic of the enforcement efforts we're doing with any type of violation of the governor's orders and whatnot. What I have heard is people calling about the parking area, Buzzard Rock. Buzzard Rock up there with a lot of traffic. A lot of hikers up there.
Parking on the roads and all sorts of
stuff. Parking on the roads and everything. And I was actually off duty during the weekend when I heard that. And of course, pretty much I responded, they need to contact the national forest on that, since that's your jurisdiction and everything. But yeah, some of those concerns when it comes to, people seeing too many people together, and I'll let our captain elaborate further on that as far as enforcement efforts that we're doing with that. But yeah, not too much. And I think it's more so the fact that when you start looking at more metropolitan, the volume of people live in a metropolitan area versus a rural area, you see more of that, obviously, because you have that much more volume of people, and it's.
I think the common sense meter,
Oh yeah,
goes up. When you get closer to the city, it kind of is on the lower end. No, they'll be hearing this.
Yeah.
We're not talking about you.
And I hope, realistically, and we talked about the earlier as far as the traffic issues with respect to it's getting warmer now,
Sure.
and of course, people are getting about, and maybe. The precaution aspect of what they should be doing is dissipating somewhat because they're out there and maybe thinking things are, all right or getting better, and not taking those safety precautions.
Well, we heard about the police that, got after these older couples sitting on their lawn chair on the beach, which they were allowed to do, but they had to sit on the ground because sitting in the chair made it a permanent, they were going to stay there too long or something. I thought, they wrote them a ticket for sitting in the chair, but if they sat on the ground, that was okay. That's when we talk about some of these things that don't really make much sense.
That
I don't know what the whole detail was, but I'm sure there was something.
I think when you go back and you put in common sense to a lot of things, everybody can read. If you read what the governor's orders is, you can gather in groups of 10. So they don't want you over that. The other thing is try to be safe. If you're carrying something around or somebody's carrying something around, do you really want to infect your family member?
Wow.
And know, hey, look, I was being foolish, and so now my son or my daughter or my grandmother or my grandfather now has it, and their days are numbered. We're down to 10 or 12 days with them. So the numbers don't lie. I'm a big numbers person. We just looked at them this morning. We are still climbing very heavy in numbers. I think the numbers this morning for the United States as a whole was just at 1 million people that's been affected with this, and 5% of them are now not longer with us. Now, if you look at these other countries, we are a little bit lower, but it's because people have tried to stay in and not go and do. And it's not a big deal till it's your family.
Exactly.
So it's your family member that's now not longer here. So.
Right.
That's the way everybody's got to look at it. We all got to look out for one another, and try and restrict your movement. I mean, if you don't need to be out and about, don't. Nobody's saying you can't be at home. Nobody's saying you can't go walk around. Nobody's saying you can't do those things. The governor's orders are pretty clear, though. Don't gather in a party of more than 10. And when you're out and about, try to stay 6 feet away. Try to do that social distancing and be safe. We got the Oprah effect here.
I know, that's what I said. I told people sent me a comment and complained that we weren't 6 feet apart. But I said, Mark's got the disinfectant. He give you a wipe.
We just did. We all just did.
And I said, we got. I did order one of those thermometers so I can just shoot it at you to see what your temperature is.
Yeah, we have that set up as well.
Yeah. I went in this morning and had dental work done, and first thing they come out to the car, they check my temperature, they give you the 20 questions. Have you been to Iran or Soviet Union or anywhere like China? They ask you all the questions. And then they started, opening that up this week. So we're going to see today. The governor will have his briefing at 2:00, and by the end of the day, we'll see if what he's going to do. After this May 8th date that he's kind of set. So we'll see what opens up as far as restaurants. And Robbie needs a haircut. You and I don't have too much trouble on haircuts, but.
I thought I was coming last week. I went and got squared away before I came.
You didn't want me to rag on you, did you?
You got it. You got me once. You're not going to get me again.
I cut it myself.
I couldn't help you mention that. And I was looking in, I guess, the two-way glass right there. And of course, I always keep my glasses on my head. Actually, these glasses were donated by us. I talk about the support our community has for their law enforcement, for their first responders as a whole. And, of course, these glasses are safety glasses that were donated by the Front Row Elks. And they donated almost 1,500, 2,000 glasses to various organizations, what have you. But first responders wise, and I actually went by and saw Jane Wine, the Secretary of the Elks, and got boxes of of glasses last week for all the first responders.
Yeah, those are good ones too because they wrap around your eyes.
Oh yeah, absolutely, very so.
Yeah. People just don't realize though the situations that our first responders, police officers, EMT, when you're dealing with public, I don't think most people don't have that interaction with people, especially those 2% that you have to deal with, and they don't realize of spitting and urinating and everything else that they do, and to people it's just. Any kind of protection you have, you wonder, it takes a special person, you guys, to do this kind of work, and I don't think people appreciate it. They say they do, but until they walk in your shoes, I don't think they really know.
Yeah, and the thing about that, and I appreciate that, and I know in all the years I've done this, I mean, I never wake up a day thinking about that. Any of that.
Right.
To me, it's my job. It's what I do. It's the oath I gave to.
You've always done it. You don't know. You don't know any different.
To be that public servant, and with that comes the hazards of the job, and it's just a way of life. In my life as a public servant. So, but we do appreciate your comments and the support. My goodness, the support that is. I mean, and I tell people, with the likes of our restaurants out there. Our eateries as a whole that have provided us food items, everything. Hey, we're getting too fat. Please,
that's why you had to get that new vest.
We love you. We love you, and appreciate the support. My goodness, it's been tremendous.
I see that vest has expansion.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it's cutting off the air circulation a little bit.
But I think the bottom line that one of the biggest things that we have to think about is the fear that people have. I think there's a lot of that in our country because we have people that are fearless, or so they say they are until they get it down. But we have this fear that no one wants to go to the store. They don't want to go out. They want to just, and those are the people I think we really need to watch for. This fear. When are we going? If you don't have the trust, I think that's what it's going to boil down to. I mean,
well, you say that, but. You see all these people out here that say they want to protect their families, just like all the people up in arms right now with their guns.
Sure.
This is being infringed, that's being infringed, and they're saying that it's all to protect their family, but when I ride through the Lowe's parking lot or the Walmart parking lot, they're in the middle of the 300 people
exactly
trying to get in the door at Walmart. You stand and you look at it and you think, well, you're not really protecting your family. So some of that fear is unknown. Exactly. You don't need your government to tell you everything to do.
No.
If you know this is going on and going around, don't be out and about. We don't need to tell you that. It's pretty simple. If you're not out in the public, you got a whole lot less chance of getting it.
That's right.
So don't ask the government to tell you what to do, because a lot of times you look around, they're not obeying or abiding by what the government's asking.
Or any common sense whatsoever.
That's right. Now, the other side of that is we have a lot of people that are doing good.
Sure.
They're not out and about. So it falls both ways.
I know when I go into the Walmart to go grocery shopping or to Martin's, and they're keeping track. Now, Martin's, at Walmart, they said they can put 1,000 people or 1,098 people in Walmart at one time before they start restricting. But I would say 90% of them are in the grocery department, and so they've tried to change, to keep the distancing and thing. But typically they have 150 to 200 people. So I think he said the highest they had one time was like 500. Wow. So really, people are trying to stay away and to do things like that. But it is amazing. Some are all got their gloves and their mask and hazard suit, and they're taking it really serious. And you got others, what I call fat, dumb, and happy. And away we go.
And and
somewhere we need somewhere in the middle, maybe.
Yeah. And one of the good aspects that I see with respect to people adhering to the safety precautions, but also supporting our businesses. You can't really go anywhere in a drive-through without being in line for
Sure.
So then we are supporting our businesses, which is fantastic. Well,
I think our communities in a whole is pretty lucky as far as the number of businesses impacted, because you look other than our businesses that touch you, a barber, a beauty shop, a restaurant. Pretty much everything is open and pretty much open.
Right.
limited, open.
Limited, but yet-
they're trying to social diving, and people are trying to do that. So
Yeah.
we're going to find out what the governor has to say and see what the numbers look like. But it all boils down to just use your common sense that God
Absolutely.
gave you. And if people are sick, stay away.
Absolutely.
And if you're sick, stay home. I mean, at least you can do that. I mean.
Well, and if you're compromised, if your health is not good, we don't need to tell you.
That's right.
Protect yourself.
Exactly.
If you want to really protect your family and your community, stay away from one another.
Exactly.
It's a good time to. Everybody wants to say to carry on and rise up and do this, and we're going to be about this and we're going to be about that. But you know what? At the end of the day, who are you affecting?
Yeah.
Right.
We're all here and we have to protect who we can, but you're going to find that the young and the elderly that need the protection are exactly who's going to get hurt in this mess.
right.
So we all have to be about everybody's business and be safe.
Well, as the sheriff says, we're all in this together.
Exactly. And one of the things Sheriff's, he's outlined to his own staff. With respect to, being, taking the precautions that we obviously have to do as well as everybody else, but making us more so available to the public for what we
Right.
do is, we're pretty much tied with his orders to not leave the county.
Yeah.
And, even on our days off,
Stay close to home.
Stay close to home.
Yeah.
So we don't to obviously inherit the risk of contacting, the coronavirus.
We don't want to go to Northern Virginia,
Oh,
do
no,
we? No.
absolutely.
No, and that's another good thing
Yeah.
that Mark has done is he has taken all the information in and he has made it very clear to everybody that's over there. We're going to abide by these rules on and off duty. He's laid it out there. No going out in public. No being about restaurants. None of that extra activity.
Keep a low profile.
That's right.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
healthy. Stay healthy.
yeah.
So he's adhering to it and making
That's
sure
good.
that everybody over there is too.
Well, we hope you'll come back again in a couple
Oh,
of weeks.
yes.
Get us filled in on what's happening, anything major. When you get these counterfeiters, you let us know, and we'll. We're going to publish this picture, so take a look for these individuals and keep an eye out at your money. If you're in doubt, just give you a call and you'll.
If you think you've got what's counterfeit money, call us. We'll come have a look at it and we'll let you know pretty quick.
Yeah.
And hopefully, between now and the next time we talk, we got some other people to bring up, and we've got a list of people we need to talk to, and hopefully this becomes a good avenue for us to grab a hold of some of these people and clean our community up a little bit.
This is what we have the time. Let's do it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we appreciate you, Jeff, for coming in, and Robbie. And again, anything we
pleasure.
can do to help you, we will.
We appreciate it,
All right.
Mike, tremendously.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
so
again.
much. All
Thank
right.
you.